Hello, hello, and welcome to Rory's Brainworks, where we get creative and see if it works. Today, we will be working with 2 rope bondage hair wraps. It's just a different angle, Marie. I thought it was nice to switch it up a little bit and utilize my space better. Yeah, but you're a yes man. You always like the things I do. True point. Now, before we get into these tutorials, we must first talk about safe, sane, and consensual. Safety. Be sure to have some safety shears with you at all times. You can always get a new rope. Can't get a new life. And consensual. Me, Marie, and Crochet Rory are all consenting adults. Communication is key. And before we dive deep, we must first thank my sponsor, Knothead Nylon.
Knothead Nylon is the destination for all your premium nylon rope bondage needs. Easy to clean, water resistant, up to 1,100 pounds of weight load, and in a wide array of beautiful, vibrant colors, Knothead Nylon will slake your rope desires. At checkout, put in discount code RORY10 for 10% off.
Now, Marie is cranially challenged, so we will be utilizing my hair for this. It's a thing now, shush. I think we should do a slow-mo montage. Additional fun fact, Marie. A lot of the tension that you'll get through headaches, like tension headaches, comes from occipital pressure in the head, the back of the head. There are a lot of techniques in order to stretch out the fascia in the head, which does usually involve pulling the hair. When you gently tug the hair from the back and hold it into a stretch, it's going to stretch the fascia in the parietal and the frontal areas of your head. You'll pull back the fascia that's being constricted by stress. Once you stretch it out, it's like stretching a muscle. Once you release it and it comes back forward, the blood flow starts to go again. It alleviates the tension, the fascia covering and squeezing your head. So sometimes a tension headache, other than stretching, needs a little bit of hair pulling. All right, I'm gonna grab this beautiful harvest gold. Almost smacked me in the face. Based off of your intentions, you can use really any length of rope you want to. I think the minimum you would want to use is like 5 feet. 5 feet, 2 meters, somewhere in there. And you want to use that small amount of rope for something more like a leash-like object. Something to keep control of someone. If you want a longer rope, you can attach them to something or attach them to a part of the harness. The first one I'm going to show you involves a girth hitch or a lark's head, and then splitting and collapsing it, and then folding in some more rope to get that taut. The second one, a little bit more complex. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my bite, get my fingers through it, reach the other side, and pull down, creating that girth hitch or the lark's head. I'm just gonna wrap that around my wrist for right now because I will be utilizing that by grabbing the hair and pulling it down over. So you're gonna want to grab a large amount. When it comes to hair pulling most of the time, the more the better. When you have a greater surface area, it doesn't hurt quite as much and you just have the sensation of control and pull on it. And obviously you don't want to jerk too hard sometimes, and it's something you obviously want to discuss with your partner, pre-negotiating before any scene, but still, because you can bruise and cause a lot of soreness in the scalp, which I mean, is a lot of people's things. Actually, for me, hair pulling is a soft limit of mine. I'm not a huge fan of it for the most part. I made a TikTok recently about it, but that was mostly for entertainment. It's actually a soft limit. I'm not a huge fan of it, especially the beard. Pulling the beard is like a hard limit for me. I sometimes accidentally throw fists. It's like, someone when they're tickling and they're like, oh, I got tickled. It's kind of like that. When you get scared, I had a friend, if you scare them, they immediately throw a fist, so you wanted to scare them from a distance. But I digress. Sometimes you'll deal with people who have very soft or thin hair. I'm gonna let that go because my arm's getting tired. When someone has soft and thin hair, sometimes, especially with a more supple rope like nylon, it has a tendency to come out. What you want to do is normally apply like a little bit of product or make sure that they don't condition their hair, before a scene. But if you can put in just like a spritz of hairspray, that'll usually give it a little bit of grip. I'm gonna grab the majority of my hair here and just tighten that lark's head down close to the base. Get that girth hitch down to the base. I'm gonna switch between girth hitch and lark head because it's the same knot, but the knot literally has like 20 different names it goes by based off of where you are. So you can keep it held down and tight just by pushing this area of the girth down into it. So once we have it down, what we're gonna do is split the lark head. And you do that by taking these two ends and pulling them apart from each other. And that's gonna create that little area right here. And you can then pinch these two parts. It's essentially creating a bun with this loop over it. And that's what creates the collapse. Now that we have this bun part, I'm gonna take the rope and create a loop. And we want the tail end to be on the inside. If the tail end is on the outside, when we put it down, it's not gonna do anything. It's just gonna immediately unravel. So we get that and put it down, and we're gonna put it down below the collapsed part. And we're gonna tighten that down. What that's gonna do is push the collapsed part upward while we have this area. And then we can build on it and actually do that again. So take it, switch it, make sure that the tail ends are on the inside. We're gonna put that down over and have that go beneath the one we just did right there. Essentially, pushing it upwards, creating a lot of tension. And at that point, you have something that is very solid and will not come undone. Get a close-up of what's going on there. And at that point, it's just going backwards from there, but you have something super solid. You can attach it to something behind them, that way, you know, put them in predicament so they can't go forward without hurting themselves, while you do all sorts of terrible things to them. And if you want to, you can put multiples of these in your hair and just walk around like Rapunzel. That's also a valid thing to do if you're just on your own, like perhaps I will be doing that later today. I will let you use your imagination. Shush, both of you. The second one is a little bit different. So we will once again grab a fistful of hair, and then we're gonna take the bite, and we're actually gonna wrap around it twice, much like you would a single column. So we are wrapped around twice. I'm gonna pull back this way, because I don't need that much of a bite. That's just too much bite. There, that should be good. And then what we're gonna do is just an overhand knot. An overhand knot, just like you are starting off tying your shoe. Easy peasy poo. But the overhand knot is a cinching knot, which means it will come undone. It'll just unravel. Now what we're gonna do is create this U shape with the bun, and we are then going to wrap around that, making sure that we always have a large loop hole, because we are going to be going through that. You can wrap around once or twice, varying on how much you want, how much extra security you want. So we have then pulled our loop then through that hole after going through it a few times. And then I'm going to grab that bite that we had, and I'm going to go through that. This is really hard on myself. Once through that, we're gonna cinch it up. It's gonna basically create this ball, but it is a very secure ball. Now this one I feel like has a higher chance of slipping through silkier, softer, thinner hair. So if I don't want to, but I could pull this. It will tighten. Yeah, it's tightened to the point where it's not gonna slip off now. I just didn't want to do that because I don't like it. But I'm doing it for you, for science. And those are essentially the two ways of doing this. I wish I could have got a better shot. Maybe at some point I will do an upgraded video for this when I have the ability to present a rope model for you instead of having a headless mannequin. Hey, I'm not gonna fault you there, you do. Yeah, your hair is way too small, and I don't have rope small enough to do that. I suppose I can get some like thread and needle and do it, but then it's just way too... Never mind. Well, hey! I hope you had as much fun learning from those tutorials as I did teaching them to you. For the first time in a long time, Marie is not doing anything ridiculous at the end of the video. Nah, no thank you. Just stay there, be a good girl. Now, I would be remiss if I did not bring up my other sponsors today, the lovely people over at Patreon. That's patreon.com/Rory's Brainworks, just like this YouTube channel. They are my rope vanguard, my colonizers of dreams, and without them, these rope endeavors would be way harder to accomplish. Thank you for spending your time with me. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this madness, and comment down below what kind of rope bondage things you would like me to teach you. As always, I'm Rory. This is my brain. I'm fairly certain it works. Be safe and go create some art.